North American is a region for its high-tech infrastructure and goods. It also has the most developed nations in the world, the United States. Today, we are going to discuss the top 10 economies in North America as of 2020. Number 10. Curacao. Kicking off the list with Curacao. Curacao's GDP per capita was $19,414 as of 2019. Curacao has an estimated GDP of $3.172 billion as of 2019. In the past numerous years, the island has expanded its infrastructure, allowing for paving the way for more economic development. Curacao's economy is primarily driven by tourism, especially cruise tourism, transshipment of petroleum, and offshore finances. About 90% of the country's exports are represented by the island's oil refining organization. Most of Curacao's GDP results from services. Tourism, petroleum refining and bunkering, offshore finance, and transportation and communications are the mainstays of this small island economy, which is closely tied to the outside world. Curacao has limited natural resources, poor soil, and inadequate water supplies, and budgetary problems complicate reform of the health and education systems. Although GDP grew only slightly during the past decade, Curacao enjoys a high per capita income and a well-developed infrastructure compared to other countries in the region. Number 9. Anguilla. On number 9, we have Anguilla. The ninth richest country in North America is Anguilla, which has a per capita GDP of $24,497. Anguilla's economy is very vulnerable to external economic situations in the regions of the US and Europe. The economy primarily relies on luxury tourism, offshore financial services, fishing, mostly lobster, and remittances from immigrants. Anguilla has few natural resources, is unsuited for agriculture. Increased activity in the tourism industry has spurred the growth of the construction sector, contributing to economic growth. Anguillan officials have put substantial effort into developing the offshore financial sector, which is small but growing. In the medium term, prospects for the economy will depend largely on the recovery of the tourism sector and, therefore, on revived income growth in the industrialized nations, as well as on favorable. Number 8. St. Martin. St. Martin is the 8th richest country in the region of North America. St. Martin's GDP per capita is $25,004, according to the latest sources. St. Martin has an estimated GDP nominal $1.394 billion as of 2008. The economy is primarily based on tourism, including restaurants, hotels, and other sectors. Tourism accounts for about 80% of the country's economy and employs about 80% of the total labor force. The economy of St. Martin centers around tourism, with nearly 4/5 of the labor force engaged in the sector. Nearly 1.8 million visitors came to the island by cruise ship, and roughly 500,000 visitors arrived through Princess Juliana International Airport in 2013. Cruise ships and yachts also call on St. Martin's numerous ports and harbors. Limited agriculture and local fishing mean that almost all food must be imported. Energy resources and manufactured goods are also imported. St. Martin had the highest per capita income among the 5 islands that formerly comprised the Netherlands Antilles. Number 7. Turks and Caicos Islands. The GDP per capita of Turks and Caicos is about $27,142 as of 2018, making it the 7th richest country in North America. Turks and Caicos have an estimated GDP nominal $1.022 billion as of 2018. The country's economy is certainly based on tourism, fishing, and offshore financial services. The US, unsurprisingly, makes up 3/4 of the tourism to Turks and Caicos. Major sources of government revenue also include fees from offshore financial activities and customs receipts. The top 3 exported goods from Turks and Caicos are printed materials, seafood, and electrical machinery. Number 6. Aruba. The GDP per capita of Aruba is estimated to be $28,898 as of 2019. Aruba has an estimated GDP nominal $3.369 billion as of 2019. Aruba's economy is primarily driven by the flourishing tourism industry, which provides the largest percentage of the country's income. Because tourism has grown rapidly in Aruba in the past decades, the construction industry has also been able to grow to accommodate the influx of tourists. The growth of these industries has not only contributed to the country's income as a whole, but has also provided many employment opportunities for its citizens. Tourism, petroleum bunkering, hospitality, and financial and business services are the mainstays of the small open Arabian economy. Tourism accounts for a majority of economic activity. As of 2017, over 2 million tourists visited Aruba annually, with a large majority, 80 to 85%, of those from the US. The rapid growth of the tourism sector has resulted in a substantial expansion of other activities. Construction continues to boom, especially in the hospitality sector. Aruba is heavily dependent on imports and is making efforts to expand exports to improve its trade balance. Almost all consumer and capital goods are imported, with the US, the Netherlands, and Panama being the major suppliers. Number 5. Puerto Rico. On number 5, we have Puerto Rico. Rico is the fifth richest country in North America, with a GDP per capita of $31,538 as of 2019. Puerto Rico has an estimated GDP nominal $99.913 billion as of 2019. Puerto Rico's economy is classified as a high-income economy and is considered to be the most competitive economy in Latin America. Manufacturing, specifically pharmaceuticals, textiles, electronics, and petrochemicals, primarily drive Puerto Rico's economy. The service industry is also a large contributor, especially in finance, insurance, real estate, and tourism. The economy likely remained downbeat at the outset of the new fiscal year, which began in July after economic activity started to contract in March due to the outbreak of the pandemic and regular earthquakes. Activity shrank again in August, albeit at the softest pace in 4 months, pointing to a mild improvement in conditions. Moreover, employment levels rose slightly in September, which should have supported household spending in the month. However, total bankruptcies increased notably in July-September compared to the previous 3 months. In politics, Pedro Pierluisi of the ruling center-right PNP was elected governor in the 3 November elections. The result, coupled with Joe Biden's win in the US, bodes well for talks on Puerto Rico's aspirations for statehood status, although it remains an unlikely outcome. Moreover, the results should also ease negotiations with the Financial Oversight Board regarding fiscal adjustments. Number 4. Canada. The destiny and a burning desire of every immigrant. Canada is the fourth richest country in North America. Canada's GDP per capita is $42,080 as of 2020. Canada is also part of the Trillion Dollar Club with a total GDP nominal of $1.6 trillion as of 2020. Canada is the world's fourth largest exporter of crude petroleum, which accounts for about 14% of Canada's total export value. Canada also has about $33.2 trillion in natural resources, including petroleum, limestone, rock salt, coal, uranium. Canada is also the third largest exporter of timber in the world. Canada's economic outlook for 2020 is improving slightly as a result of growth in the real estate market, residential investment, and household consumption, although a number of factors that contributed to the 2019 slowdown remain. These conditions should translate into a growth rate of about 1.7% for the Canadian economy in 2020. 2019 was marked by a synchronized downturn in global economies. Nearly 90% of countries experienced lower growth in 2019 than in 2018. This was the case for Canada, where growth declined from 1.9% in 2018 to a meager 1.5% expected in 2019, which is slightly below its potential. Number 3. Greenland. Greenland is the third richest country in North America, with a GDP per capita of $48,296 as of 2016. Furthermore, it also has an estimated GDP nominal of $2.714 billion as of 2016. Greenland's economy has a large public sector and comprehensive foreign trade. Because Greenland's economy is minor, mixed, and vulnerable to negative fluctuations, the country has a critical dependence on capital inflow from the Danish government. The Greenland economy is held up heavily by fish exports, which is its largest industry. The largest employers in Greenland are in government, including the kingdom government in Denmark and the local Greenland self-rule government. Greenland's economy depends on exports of shrimp and fish and on a substantial subsidy from the Danish government. Fish account for over 90% of its exports, subjecting the economy to price fluctuations. The subsidy from the Danish government is budgeted to be about $535 million in 2017, more than 50% of government revenues and 25% of GDP. The economy is expanding after a period of decline. The economy contracted between 2012 and 2014, grew by 1.7% in 2015 and by 7.7% in 2016. Number 2. Cayman Islands. On number 2 we have the Cayman Islands. GDP per capita in the Cayman Islands is about $58,490 as of the latest reports. Cayman Islands have a GDP of $2.25 billion as of 2008. The absence of an income tax helped make the Cayman Islands prosperous, which has caused resentment among high-tax nations. The Cayman Islands government brings in through customs duties, tourism, financial services, tourist accommodation taxes, and business licenses. Number 1. United States. On 0.1 we have the United States. The United States has a GDP per capita of $63,051 as of 2020. US also has a GDP of $20.08 trillion as of 2020. The United States is the second richest country in North America in terms of per capita GDP. In terms of GDP, however, the US has the largest economy in the world. Part of the cause why the US is the wealthiest country in the world is that it has a culture that encourages hard work and long hours. Additionally, the US has a growing population, including millions of people from immigration, which provides the US with a strong workforce. The US also has a culture and financial system that supports entrepreneurship. World-class research facilities and universities help drive this entrepreneurship and attract talented students and individuals from all over the world. So, this was all about the top 10 richest economies in North America as of 2020. If you want to hear more, subscribe to our channel and click the bell icon. So, you never miss an update. See you in the next video. Till then, take care. Thanks for watching.